So I should preface this by saying I've played both Last of Us video games and I enjoyed both of them. Although I did have some issues with The Last of Us Part 2, but that's a video for another day. I felt the need to use my platform to discuss all of the criticisms and controversies surrounding The Last of Us Season 2 and the actress Bella Ramsey. So what I'm going to do is present the two main opposing thoughts on the season and Miss Ramsey and address them. I want to be clear that I will be giving my review on the show as well as addressing both sides of the conversation around the subject. I will give you all my thoughts on the season as a whole, as well as my thoughts on Bella Ramsey as the character of Ellie and her performance in Season 2. Before I start, I do want to state that this is only my opinion, not the definitive thoughts and opinions on the show and the actress Bella Ramsey that everybody should have, and I would love to hear what all of you think down in the comment section below. Feel free to disagree or to agree with me. Either way, please do explain why you either agree or disagree and on which parts. One last thing. Please be sure to remain respectful and civil while engaging in the conversation. We are all going to have differing opinions on the show. What's important is how we voice our opinions. Now, with all that out of the way, I'd like to first discuss the positives of the show, as well as what others like about the show. First, I do believe that overall the show has good acting throughout, especially when it comes to Pedro Pascal as Joel, Isabella Merced as Dina, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, and Caitlin Dever as Abby. Pedro Pascal always brings his A game no matter what the character he may be playing. Isabella Merced as Dina, I honestly thought was the show stealer of this season. She did amazing portraying the character of Dina. Very little time we get to spend with Caitlin Dever as Abby. I personally thought that whenever she was on screen, she completely commanded the scene. As far as for how the show looks, I think it truly looks incredible. Everything from production design, visual effects, to the look and general aesthetic of the show. As for my personal criticisms of the show, would have to be the overuse of political topics to push a political agenda. If you've been around my channel for a little while now, then you know I hate it when movies and shows use their platforms to forcefully push their own personal political agenda. I also still don't think Bella Ramsey fits the role of Ellie whatsoever. And no offense to Bella Ramsey herself, but when I look at her on screen, I don't sit there and go, oh yeah, that's definitely the Ellie I know and love from the games. Now, not to sit here and pick on Bella Ramsey too much, but through this season, there would be times when I thought her acting was absolutely great, or sometimes even serviceable. But then there'd be times where it felt like she was just sleepwalking through the show, which unfortunately seemed to be the majority of the show, with some good acting sprinkled throughout. I do believe that you can attribute some of, if not maybe most of this to the writing, which is another problem I had with the show was the writing. I feel like how they handled some characters like Tommy and Jesse was either completely underwhelming in Tommy's case, and in Jesse's case, at times it felt like a totally different character than the Jesse from the game. What I think is going to hurt the show the most was the decision to not film seasons 2 and 3 together, or make season 2 take place in between the first and second game. Then you could do seasons 3 and 4 back to back, which would cover the events of The Last of Us Part 2. It's due to this decision that Abby only ever appears at the beginning of the season for minimum screen time in episodes 1 and 2. Then we don't see her again until the very end of the last episode of the season. By choosing to structure the show the way they did, we get very little time with Abby, and we'll have to spend most of, if not the entirety of season 3 with her, and for the casual audience member who don't like her aren't going to want to tune in. Why would they want to watch a character who just killed one of all of our favorite characters in the show and game? Now, what prompted me to want to make this video was to give you all my personal thoughts on The Last of Us Season 2, but to also address some of the fighting within the fandom. Throughout this section of the video, we're going to be showing clips from two YouTubers who I do watch and respect very much, those being Cody Leach and MrGrizzy. As for what I said about Bella Ramsey's performance and appearance, I agree with MrGrizzy to a point. As you'll see here in a moment, he will show you all how some fellow movie and show YouTubers who chose to attack those who didn't like the show and what they said. This is how he responded to them.
So Bella Ramsey's performance as Ellie in The Last of Us Season 2 has been, let's just say not all that great or memorable. But hey, that's my opinion. And if you do have negative things to say, and if you have negative things to post on social media, memes, trolling, etc., it triggers the fuck out of these people. Yep, it's all just bots with one follower trolling the show. Keep telling yourself that, and keep telling yourself that with regards to the 40% and falling Rotten Tomatoes audience score as well, which I'm sure these people will do. You know, just a thought, but maybe instead of blaming and attacking the fans for not liking and criticizing scenes like this, you should focus your attention on the showrunners who wrote this shit and put Bella Ramsey in that position in the first place. Oh, so the people memeing and trolling the show for this line are insane, not the line itself. Okay, got it.
I know a lot of people were triggered on last week's episode where Ellie said, "I'm gonna be a dad." I took it as a joke. I took it as a haha.
Whoa!
Wait a minute, are you saying that women who identify as men and call themselves the father in a lesbian relationship are joking and that it's not meant to be taken seriously? Probably gonna piss your own side off with that statement, but go ahead, continue.
If I was in a lesbian relationship, which I've never been in, so I can't say that I have experience, but if I were, hypothetically, and my partner was pregnant, so she was definitely going to be, you know, the mother figure, I would probably make a joke like that too, not being serious, you know? And people took it so seriously.
Sweetheart, trust me when I say that Neil Druckmann and crew 100% want this to be taken seriously.
It's always jealousy. It's always jealousy. She's living her dream. You're sitting at home working at a job you hate with
it's crazy.
Probably no girlfriend, no friends, your family hates you. Like there's all these people who create negative shit like this.
They piss you off because you can clearly see that they are having more fun ripping on this show than you do enjoying it. And that triggers you.
It's because they're just jealous. They're just sad, jealous people. They have to hurt others or make fun of others to make themselves feel better. And what they need is therapy, not social media.
Yep, you heard him, everyone. You need therapy if you dare make fun of or troll this show on social media. Now, me personally, I think the people who made this show and some of these woke shills might need therapy.
Well, I'm ready to see Al and Dina juicy. That's what I'm ready for. Let's go. That was the highlight of my day. They're in love. They're going to have a baby.
Because what it boils down to, and I'm going to say this and probably get in trouble, it's these guys who want to have a young actress that they want to be attracted to, that they want to be sexually attracted to.
I just want to remind everyone real quick before we continue with this ridiculous statement that Ellie was 14 in season 1, by the way.
It's these guys who want to have a young actress that they want to be attracted to.
Also, who are the ones sexualizing the character of Ellie? Is it the trolls and memers on social media? Or is it Neil Druckmann and the freaks making this show and the other freaks, the shills, who are literally getting off to it?
Well, I personally think that personal attacks on Bella Ramsey's appearance is uncalled for and goes too far. However, I do believe that it is the showrunner's fault, like Neil Druckmann, who are the ones who put her in this situation. When you put yourself in the spotlight, especially a spotlight as big as The Last of Us, you have to expect to receive some hate and trolling. Now, as far as our favorite John Roca making the claim that anybody who has a criticism on the show or towards Bella Ramsey is just upset because, quote, it's these guys who want and young actress they want to be attracted to, sexually attracted to. So any of you who have a criticism towards The Last of Us Season 2 or Bella Ramsey, just know that according to John Roca, you're only critical of the show or the actress because she's not sexy enough for you. What a disgusting, unprofessional, and invalidating thing to say to those who may hold valid criticisms towards the show or Miss Ramsey. The next YouTuber we're going to be addressing is somebody who I like a good bit and consider one of my favorite film critics, but he says something that I just can't let slide.
In the writing of this season is the character of Ellie. And picking back up on what I said earlier, Bella Ramsey is not the problem. I know I'm already going to have comments in here calling me a shill and a white knight because unfortunately Bella Ramsey is the target of just like this really gross, weird fucking hate train on the internet, and even more so than season 1. But here's the interesting thing to me. Pretty much any of these guys that hate her, that think she's the worst thing ever, that make hating Bella Ramsey their entire personality, that think that she's destroyed this show, and they make 17 different memes about her face. You let any of them talk long enough, you're going to get one of two answers. Either one, Bella Ramsey's not fuckable enough to me. She's not as fuckable as the video game character, so obviously Bella Ramsey's the worst thing ever. Or two, they have very valid concerns and complaints about how the character is utilized and say things like, Ellie would never say that. Ellie would never do that. Ellie would never react that way. Ellie would never go down this path. My Ellie wouldn't do this. And a lot of those things I can understand and maybe even agree with, but here's the funny part of that. That's the fucking writing. Bella Ramsey does not write the script. Bella Ramsey does not write the screenplay for these episodes. Bella Ramsey does not show up on set and decide what Ellie's going to do that day. All of those issues that you're having understandable contention with, that is on Craig Mazin, that is on Neil Druckmann, that is on anybody who is part of their writing team. That's not on Bella. And the fact that a lot of those hateful people cannot see the difference, it cracks me up. It's like, okay, at that point, you don't even have any business discussing TV or film criticism because you don't know the fucking difference between the writing and the acting. Now, if you have somebody that genuinely does point out specific examples about Bella's acting, we can debate that all day long. I think Bella did an incredible job with the younger version of Ellie, as I've said, especially episode 6 when we get shades of that back. I think that's some of the best work that Bella does in the season. I think that when you get those really emotional moments like Joel's death, like when Mel dies and the pregnant belly and things like that, I think you get some really great acting out of Bella that tells me that when you give Bella Ramsey gold to work with, you get a really great performance in turn. But if you give Bella some bullshit, like, I'm gonna be a dad, you get absolute cringeworthy, meme-worthy moments that do nothing but drive the hate train unfairly at the actress. Like, I will agree, that moment, the I'm gonna be a dad moment, the worst moment of this entire show. Season 1 and Season 2. I think it was a ridiculous moment of writing.
Now, while I partially agree with the majority of the problem when it comes to Bella Ramsey's performance is the writing, however, I fundamentally disagree with his perspective that anyone who has any criticisms towards her can be broken down into two categories. One, they think she's not fuckable enough, or two, are purists of the video games whose only criticism is that she simply isn't like Ellie from the games. Apply what I said to John Roca's comment here about Cody's first claim. He then goes on to assume that everyone who has criticisms towards Bella Ramsey and her performance in the show is too stupid enough to not realize that some of it, if not most of that, is due to the writing. Cody, I hate to break it to you, but you cannot strictly blame all the fans' criticisms on the writing team. Sure, moments like when she said that ridiculous line, I'm going to be a dad, is on the writing team. I doubt you could find anybody who would dispute that. What about moments in the show when she is looking at the crew and has zero expressive acting, like at the dance in episode 2? Her acting in this season was all over the place, and I personally don't think she looks, feels, or acts like the Ellie from the video games. which when you're adapting your story from its original source material, I think those are pretty damn important in order for her to feel believable as the character and is a valid criticism. Then you go on to say that anybody that is memeing or trolling on Bella has no right to do so and voice their criticisms because they're too damn stupid to understand the difference between when it's the writing team's fault or Bella Ramsey's. I didn't realize you're the gatekeeper of who has the right to voice their opinions on a television show. I do agree that at moments in the show, Bella Ramsey gives some incredible performances, including some of the ones Cody mentioned in that clip. However, I think it's incredibly naive to say that any time her acting wasn't up to par was all the writer's fault. Time and time again, we've seen great actors be given awful writing and still turn out to be a standout of the movie or show. Since this video is looking like it's going to be pretty long, I'm going to give my final thoughts on the subject. As for The Last of Us Season 2, I think it was a major step down from Season 1 and an even bigger step down from the game. The way they decided to split up the story was their first and biggest mistake. Then, to make us wait 2 years before we get any type of payoff for the events set up in Season 2 is a very big ask of their audience. And they should have made Season 2 take place between The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, giving us more time with Joel and other characters, as well as giving Bella Ramsey more time to grow into the character. As for all the hate Bella Ramsey is receiving online, I do believe is going too far and mostly unwarranted. But with that being said, I stand by my position that fans have the right to voice their concerns and criticisms no matter which way they choose to do so, and that it's the showrunner's fault for putting her in this position. To those supposed YouTuber film critics saying it's because we don't find Bella Ramsey attractive enough and that you're toxic, weird, and sexually infantilizing her, quit white knighting. I think it's perfectly valid to address and criticize that Bella Ramsey doesn't look at all like Ellie from the games. But I would like to end this by saying I do not personally condone attacking Bella Ramsey for her personal appearance. It's something that's out of her control. Now, if you want to criticize her acting, writing, casting, or the showrunners and the show itself, then have at it. All I'm saying is that I find it equally disgusting to say that those attacking her appearance are doing so because they don't find her sexually attractive, as I do those attacking her appearance. That's all I'm going to say on this issue for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, click that bell to be notified each time I drop a new video, and leave a comment down below letting me know how you feel about all of this surrounding The Last of Us Season 2 and Bella Ramsey. Feel free to disagree. I welcome civil, open disagreements and enjoy conversing about our differing opinions on the subject. This video was in no way meant to throw shade at Cody Leach or most of the other YouTubers in this video, just addressing and opposing their opinions on the matter. Aside from John Roca. Fuck that guy. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This is McKeon Mole, signing off.